Hi friends, thanks for joining me in my craft room today. We'll be using the Simply Elegant bundle, which comes with a punch and a stamp set that has some wonderful sentiments with it. We'll start out with a piece of very vanilla and basic white cardstock. These are going to be our card fronts. We're going to heat emboss them with white, so we're going to do them both at the same time. The white one, we're going to fill up the center with our stamp, and then we'll stamp a couple bits around the edges. It's hard to see it when it's on white. Well, it's hard to see on any color because it's clear. So here we'll do the very vanilla one, and we're going to go more like on the border, leaving the center more open. And then we're using white embossing powder for both of them. And then I'll heat emboss. It's a very subtle color on there. Then we're going to use white as well on one of them for our sentiment. Wishing you a wonderful birthday. And we're going to use the punch here. Now, this is some of the designer series paper that comes in the suite. Our designer series papers are double-sided. Okay, we're going to take a strip of basic white, and on this one we're going to emboss with the flower design using gold embossing powder, as well as the sentiment we're going to use gold. So we'll do those at the same time. Now this white strip is 1 3/4 inch wide, and it will fit right into the punch that we're going to use. I'm going to show you how to alter the punch so you can make a longer strip. So for the decorative side, you just pull it through. Then it wasn't as easy to get the other side in, so I discovered if you put a piece of paper in first as a guide to help you slide the other end in, that's the trick. So just take another piece of cardstock, slide it in there, and then you can put your paper back in there to punch the other side. There you go. So that's how you can alter your punches. And then we're gonna just use the edge pieces on this little piece for the sentiment to kind of just round the edges off. So you see, just add a piece of paper, and then you can slide your paper down. I wanted to make it a little shorter. Then we're going to use Petal Pink ink with our blending brush. And remember, always tap on your scrap paper first and use your brush in a circular motion. For this project, I'm going to put the ink darker around the outer edges and leave the center kind of undone. There you go. Then I'm going to use some white ribbon, which is seam binding ribbon. Tie a bow and I'll attach it with a glue dot onto the sentiment. Then I have cut out of vellum. So I have cut out of vellum using a die, which is from the Encircled in Beauty dies. And once you die cut that, it kind of curls. So I put my adhesive so that the curling side was down, and so it would lay flat. I didn't want it to curl up off my card. Then just use dimensionals to adhere the sentiment over the top of that. And it makes just a really elegant card. I'm going to put that on my white card base. That's the first card. Now I used some of the designer series paper that came in the suite and basic border, and cut a little scalloped edge from the designer paper just to put on the lower edge of the sentiment. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that with liquid adhesive. And then I'll start, make a bow with the gold trim that comes in the suite. Gold and silver come in the suite. Again, a glue dot to adhere it to the top of my punched embellishment. Then I'm just going to use liquid adhesive. I'll use dimensionals on the sentiment. And then this card base, I'm going to use Very Vanilla, but also I'm showing you how I use the edges of the dimensionals when I want to, when I need a bigger strip. Sometimes we don't get around to cutting them down, and it works perfect for these situations where you're gonna put the dimensionals on the layer. There you go. Another, oh, I'm not using the Very Vanilla base, I'm using the basic white base. It just really brings out the white embossed bits. Okay, for this next card, again, we're going to do heat embossing. So I used the embossing buddy. And we'll go ahead and prep for both the cards. So one of them I'm going to use gold embossing powder, and the other one I'm using black embossing powder. One is Happy Anniversary, the gold one is Happy Anniversary, and the black one is All the Things You Do Are Simply Amazing. This is such a fun stamp set. Then we're going to use basic gray cardstock, and we're going to create a decorative background with our corner stamp. And I'm using basic gray ink. And some of the trim, the gold trim, I'll adhere with the dimensionals onto the sentiment. Then I'll start assembling onto the card base. See that the designer series papers are double-sided. And I have a little gold strip that I'm going to put over the top of the or in between the two papers. Just as an accent there. Then kind of spread open the trim so that it looks like it's supposed to be where I put it. And there you go, happy anniversary. Isn't that a nice card? Simple. All right, using the punch. And I did mean to stamp some flowers on the top, over the top of the sentiment. I totally forgot about that. So that would have added just a little more. So just decide what colors you want where. These are just 1-inch strips. And I'm putting it on the basic black cardstock. This paper is so pretty. It's got the foil of different colors. It has the copper, the silver, the gold. So I'm going to be using this metallic mesh ribbon, which is not included in this suite, but it is a current item in our catalog, and it just it matched well with the card. I thought that it was a fun embellishment to add. And then I'm going to use dimensionals on the sentiment. Now for the top little bit, I had to actually double my dimensionals because it seemed like it was pretty thick over the top of the knot. So I ended up having to put another dimensional under the top little bit thing. And then I will go ahead and put it onto my card base, which is white. And there concludes card number 4 for our Focus Friday in using the Simply Elegant bundle. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you will like and share my videos. And meanwhile, give it a try. These are fun cards to make. Thanks again for joining me.